Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Coco Gauff honestly answers why she didn't want to play US Open mixed doubles. Coco Gauff says she already has a full list of commitments during the US Open, and playing the mixed doubles event would only make it more difficult and would probably consume her mental energy. When the US Open announced its player field for the first time in late June, Gauff was the only top 10 WTA player who didn't sign up for the star-studded mixed doubles tournament. While some found it surprising, many were disappointed, considering that she is the top-ranked American female tennis player and probably the biggest star in New York. Between August 19th to 20th, which is the qualifying week of the US Open, the mixed doubles event in question will take place. It will be a 16-team event, with the winning pair taking home a historic $1 million prize money. In Cincinnati, Gauff was asked to address her decision to skip the star-studded tournament. And when answering the question, the two-time Grand Slam champion offered a very direct and honest response. "Gauff, if I were to play and lose, I wouldn't be happy. Didn't want to waste mental energy on that. For me, it was just because I know the free week of the US Open is already packed for me, for sponsor things, and it was just like a whole other thing. And I'm very competitive. If I were to lose, I would not be happy. So, I didn't want to waste mental energy on that. Then on top of the sponsor stuff, the pre-week, and then knowing that this finished on Monday and potentially having to play on Tuesday. Well, you would have to play on a Tuesday. So I just knew it wasn't going to work out for me, scheduling-wise," the world number 2 explained. Even without Gauff, the locals will have someone to cheer on, as 3 American teams have been confirmed: Jessica Pegula and Tommy Paul, Madison Keys and Frances Tiafoe, Venus Williams and Riley Opelka. Emma Raducanu says this is the best she has felt heading into the US Open in years, as the world number 39 insists she isn't lacking any confidence, knowing that only top players have been able to beat her lately. On Monday, Raducanu concluded her run at the WTA 1000 tournament in Cincinnati in the 3rd round. But she definitely didn't embarrass herself of anything like that, since she went toe-to-toe with world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka for more than 3 hours before the Belarusian earned a tight 7-6, 4-6, 7-6, 5 win. At Wimbledon, Raducanu easily made it past her opening 2 matches before Sabalenka overcame her in a contested 3rd-round match. After Wimbledon, the Briton kicked off her North American hardcourt swing in Washington, where she made the semifinal before losing to Anna Kalinskaya. In Montreal, the 22-year-old fell short to recent Wimbledon runner-up Amanda Anisimova in the 3rd round. "This is my first year on tour playing most of the calendar. I had a tough start to the year, and it was very difficult to change that. But in the last few months I've been building, and the level has been increasing. The players I'm playing and losing to, they're all top players, so that gives me confidence," Raducanu told The Guardian. Raducanu: "This year is different going into the US Open. Since winning a total of 10 matches to win the 2021 US Open as a qualifier, Raducanu hasn't had a single win at Flushing Meadows. She picked up first-round defeats in 2022 D by Alizé Cornet and 2024 D by Sofia Kenin, while she didn't play in 2023 because she was recovering from multiple surgeries. I went home and came back, and it was a really difficult time in New York. Since I won the tournament, it's not been easy for me there. But this year I feel different. I'm a lot calmer behind the court. On the court, I take more confidence in the big moments," the 22-year-old insisted. One court at a time, Coco Gauff gets honest about her mixed doubles decision. It was a humid August afternoon at the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. The buzz of the US Open was in full swing. Flushing Meadows pulsed with the chaos and glory of New York tennis. The roar of the crowd, the echoing thud of rackets, and the glare of headlines demanding not just greatness, but everything. Coco Gauff had just come off a dominant win in the women's singles 4th round. Her confidence was evident, her serve sharper than ever, her footwork a blur. Fans were on their feet. Commentators whispered of destiny. Yet, one question kept surfacing online, on broadcasts, in hushed circles of tennis fans. Why isn't Coco Gauff playing mixed doubles? Some speculated injury. Others guessed burnout or strategic focus. A few floated more gossipy theories. It wasn't until a sit-down interview with a well-known tennis journalist from the Player's Perspective podcast that Coco finally addressed the elephant in the room. She laughed, almost awkwardly, when it was brought up. "You want the honest answer?" she asked, leaning forward in her chair, hands clasped between her knees. "Like actually honest?" The host smiled. "That's what we're here for." And Coco, refreshingly self-aware at just 21, offered more honesty than anyone expected. "It's not just about the tennis. I've played mixed doubles before," she began. "I love the energy, and it's fun, no doubt. But the truth is, I just didn't want to. Not this year. Not at this tournament." She paused, looking off to the side. "There's this pressure in tennis, especially as a woman, and especially as a young woman, to say yes to everything. Every draw, every partnership, every opportunity. You say no, and suddenly it's like, what's wrong with her? But sometimes it's not that deep. Sometimes it's just, I'm tired, or I want to protect my space, or I don't want to carry the emotional load of being someone's partner for 2 hours a day, for 2 weeks straight, when I'm already carrying a country on my back in singles." Her words hung in the air, sharp, pointed, and refreshing. Mixed doubles can be awkward. Can we just say that? Then came the truth that struck a chord with fans across all walks of life. Mixed doubles, she said, isn't always this perfect, lighthearted experience. Like, some of y'all think it's just cute pairings and fun volleys. But sometimes it's awkward. Real awkward. You get paired with someone who has a huge ego, or they don't respect you, or they expect you to cover their mistakes, and suddenly it's not a match. It's emotional labor. And I didn't want to deal with that this year. The host nodded slowly. "So, it wasn't about any specific player?" Coco smiled knowingly. "No names. But let's just say I've had my experiences. There's nothing worse than losing a match not because you didn't play well, but because your partner underestimated you, or tried to coach you mid-match. Like, sir, I have a whole team for that. I don't need your unsolicited advice on my backhand." The room erupted in laughter, but the message was clear. People underestimate how much women have to manage, especially black women. Coco took a deep breath before continuing. "There's this invisible work we do. Managing tone, smiling through irritation, making sure we don't offend anyone with our confidence. Even in mixed doubles, if you're too assertive, it's like, why is she being so intense? But if the guy shows emotion, he's just passionate." Her eyes locked with the host's. That double standard gets old. Fast. She clarified that this wasn't an anti-mixed double stance. There are great guys on tour. I've had amazing partners. But this year, with the pressure I'm feeling in singles, I didn't want to have to navigate all of that. I wanted clarity, focus, less noise. There's a bigger goal right now. The shift in Coco's tone was immediate. She sat straighter. Her voice firmed. "I want to win the U.S. Open," she said simply. The weight of that goal was visible on her face. "I've had people talk about me as a future champion since I was 15. People projected their hopes, their pride, their narratives onto me before I even knew who I was. It's taken me a while to make this dream mine again. Not for the sponsors, not for the legacy, just for me." She smiled softly. "So yeah, I said no to mixed doubles. Not because I don't love the game, but because I'm finally prioritizing myself. That's the whole truth. I wish more athletes could say no without being judged." As the interview wound down, the conversation broadened. Coco touched on topics from mental health to burnout to the culture of saying yes in professional sports. "There's this glorification of doing it all," she said. "But doing it all often means losing yourself in the process. I'm learning to value rest, to say no when something doesn't align, to protect my peace." She added, with a smirk, "And you know what? If I want to go to the players' lounge and eat nachos and not worry about rushing to court 7 for a doubles match, I should be able to do that without the internet saying I've lost my drive." The fans understood, deeply. When the episode aired, social media lit up. Posts flooded in, not with outrage, but with support. Coco speaking facts about emotional labor in mixed doubles. Y'all better listen. She doesn't owe anyone an explanation. but I'm so glad she gave one. Protect your peace, Queen. Even some fellow players chimed in. A top WTA player tweeted, I felt exactly what Coco's describing. Mixed doubles can be fun, but it can also be draining. Kudos to her honesty. The future is hers to shape. As the U.S. Open continued, Coco powered through the singles draw, round after round. Her footwork dazzled. Her backhand bit. Her heart, that relentless, Florida-honed, iron-strong heart, beat with singular focus. Every match she played was a reminder. Saying no to something is sometimes the most powerful yes to your own journey. And when she finally stepped onto Arthur Ashe Stadium for the final, the crowd didn't cheer for a doubles partner she never had. They cheered for Coco Gauff, fully in charge of her path, fully present in her purpose, and finally, gloriously, playing the game entirely on her own terms.